You. I want to bring in Rachel Fiset now, attorney and legal analyst. To Joe's point that we could still see charges, how likely is it in a case like this with a special grand jury report?
There are 21 people that were not indicted but recommended to be indicted. And I do not think all 21 people are similarly situated. You have 13 separate fake electors, most of which no one has ever heard of. So that is one batch of the 21 people that were not indicted. And then you also have Lindsey Graham, David Perdue, Kelly Loeffler. You have very big names, Michael Flynn. You have Lynn Wood, a prominent Southern attorney. And those people are likely separately categorized as to whether they will be indicted later or not. And we don't know as the public right now what's going on behind the scenes, what kind of cooperation deals are being cut, what kind of testimony they expect from the unindicted co-conspirators, and who is indeed cooperating. So we have not seen the last of this, but I think the charges are very much still on the table if the prosecutors are not able to proceed and get what they want or what they had dealt with or expect from each of these people.
You know, it's interesting, Rachel, as Joe was reading the different vote counts on charges and recommendations for charges, how the votes fell, you have to believe that that's got to be ammunition for defense attorneys for all 19 co-defendants, including the former president, seeing how the jury felt about the cases and the strength of the charges moving forward as they prepare for a trial.
It absolutely is. And there are even footnotes in the report that say at various times what the dissenting grand jury members thought when they did not think a charge should be levied. So it absolutely lays out all of the thoughts that are going on. It helps the defense attorneys. In some ways, it helps the prosecutor. And it shows, look, we have a greater scheme than we even alleged. So that grand jury report is incredibly interesting. It's interesting to the public to read and show what was going on inside of that grand jury investigation.
So the judge has some pretty important decisions to make. I mean, already an October trial date for two defendants in the case, attorney Kenneth Chesebro and former Trump campaign attorney Sidney Powell. They desired a speedy trial. You've got Mark Meadows also wanting his case severed from the others. We'll see how that plays out. What will the judge be considering with 19 co-defendants and some of the differences in their cases?
The differences will be front and center of what the judge is considering, but also some kind of judicial efficiency and what is going to work best for the jury and the courthouse. This is unwieldy at the moment. All 19 of these people are fighting hard, and they are saying that their case is in some way different than the other defendants. So they're all going to be putting forth motions to sever, to delay, or even sometimes, as we've seen, to hurry it up, which in some ways might be a bluff. Will Ms. Willis and her team be ready to go to trial multiple times and quickly by October? This is also likely why 21 other defendants were not charged, is that this case becomes incredibly unwieldy the more and more defendants you add.
Right. It starts to, feel like a circus. It's hard enough to keep track of when you've got one defendant in a case, let alone 19 or more. Trump would like his case moved to federal court. What's the chance of that and the benefit for him?
The state has charged it. The state has charged it under state laws. It's going to be difficult for him to argue or win a case that it should be removed to federal court because it's very clearly delineated as to what is a federal offense and what is a state offense. And yes, his have crossover. And frankly, he has a similar case in federal court.
All right. Rachel Fiset there, an attorney, always giving us wonderful political insight into these cases. Looks like we had a technical glitch, but we were about out of time anyway. So, Rachel, thank you.